Yeah, let's go. I'm unstoppable, do the impossible. I'm irresponsible, yet I'm phenomenal. I got an arsenal, I'm dropping bombs, you know. No, I'm not stopping, no. Conquer the obstacle. To the top, here I go, think I'm chosen to be the king of rock, think the people have spoken. I can hear the tick-tock of the clock, I'm in motion. So now I'm gonna pop, causing all this commotion.
Yeah, sometimes I think that I'm unstoppable. Yeah, ready to go, man, lock it low. That's right, I swear to God that I could drop you, bro. Yeah, I got a shot and I ain't stopping.
Well, here we go, folks. A new face, or perhaps a new incarnation, probably be the best way to put it. Entering into the ringside, preparing for the match of the evening. Hi, folks. This is your host, Mr. Granddaz, the Demoness, Ravana Sin. Some may recognize her, and as I said before, a previous incarnation, but she has instructed me that that person no longer exists, so we will move on from there. In any case, the words that she's having with the fans coming around the ringside are quite, I don't know if offensive would probably be the nicest term I could say. You might have just heard her say, "Stand up and bow to me, I am your God." I mean, it is, whew, it's an interesting mindset that Ravana Sin has, and she is illustrated in many ways, in and out of the ring. The scariest part about this all is not that she says it, is that she believes every word. And that she would do things like that. Look at the rope. And I know y'all haven't been inside of a wrestle ring, but you know, there is a significant amount of bodies that come across that and sweat and whatnot. But, you know, what can I say? And she's found herself a pretty unorthodox seat there in the corner. As she is still carrying on with some of these fans out there at ringside. I mean, I truly believe that she gets a thrill off of just getting underneath the fan's skin. But in any case, as we are waiting for the opponent to come out the ringside, if you would be so kind, for those of you who are fans of women's wrestling, and I know that you are because you're watching this, you want to go to the Women's Pro Wrestling Network website, WPNWrestling.com, and you can see a 24/7 stream of all the women's wrestling that we've collected over the years. That's for you cord cutters out there. This should be moving on to a Roku channel pretty soon. Anyway, the opponent, the talented Andey Ripley, who we had the opportunity to see not that long ago. She participated in the triple threat, or at least one set of triple threats, to deem a number one contender for the Peach State Women's Wrestling Championship. By the way, we want to thank Peach State for allowing us to come out for this particular show. There's a little cameo there. But we saw Ripley participate in that. She did a fine job, and I guess if not for the undercutting of Crystal Rose, probably would have gone a little bit further. But this is an entirely separate event. Not only an entirely separate event, but an entirely separate type of opponent. You know, I've known or watched Andey Ripley. She's a very catch-can type competitor. And I would think that getting in there with somebody as unorthodox as Ravana Sin might be disturbing. But perhaps, you know, this is one of those things that she has to do to push herself. And she just licked her hand. And rather than to go for the knuckle lock, she tried to go for a forearm shot, and Sin caught it. And just licked all over her forearm. Maybe that was Andy's way of wiping the spit off. She just delivered that forearm right to the chest of Ravana Sin, side headlock applied, and I would go right now and say that, in my opinion, if she is able, she being Andey Ripley, to keep this on the mat, she has as good as, there's a shoulder block by Sin, but I was going to say, as long as she can keep this on the mat in a grappling fashion, she has as good a chance as anybody to win this. Sin is going to be looking for something unorthodox. She is experienced. Let's not discount that. She knows what she's doing in the ring. She just has a odd method sometimes in how she executes things. That was a nice arm drag by Ripley. And a second one. Now she's trying to bar out the arm, and you notice again there's that experience that I just talked about of Ravana Sin. Rather than to get herself locked up in it, she rolled herself away. She may present herself as crazy oftentimes to some of the fans and even the wrestling journalists and whatnot, but she knows what she's doing in a weird way. There's a drop kick on the back. She got caught slipping, and you got to give Ripley credit that she's not wasting any time. Puts Ravana back into the ring. And come in. Over the top. Into the ropes. And just a big shove by Ravana Sin sets Ripley down. And I'm sure, and you can see the look on Ripley's face that she was not expecting that, just to be yelled at out of the clear blue. And as we talk about those unorthodox moves, a double leg drop right across the knees, and then she kicked her right into the shoulders. Things like that. They are all just, these weird little nuances that Sin likes to put out. And it looks like it'd be maybe a sidewalk slam. Well, it was a sidewalk slam, but it was a different way to apply it. She actually spun her around both horizontally and vertically and dropped her face first on the mat. Andey Ripley just got covered, but she not only got the shoulder up, but she got the ropes. That was met with a bite across the forehead. I'm sure at this point, Ripley is wondering, what did I get myself into dealing with this woman? Face first into the top turnbuckle. She's going to have to get herself focused if she's going to bring this thing around. And, Okay, if for those of you that did not catch that, it's probably better for you, but it is my duty to call the match. Sin spit into the palm of her hand and just basically rubbed it into the mouth of Andey Ripley, which is just heinously gross. I don't know what to say about that, other than that was just a move of humiliation. Ripley's trying to find some air or opportunity to make a comeback here, but Sin is just all over. Forearm shots across the back, keeping her down, not giving Ripley much time or opportunity or just any sort of window to kind of cash in and turn this thing around. And here we have it again. It looks like she's literally trying to rip the arms out of the sockets of Ripley. Here comes Sin, charging in like a freight train. And she catches it with a shoulder tackle right into the abdomen, put Ripley back into that corner. And he goes a forearm shot. Now it looks like Sin is setting Ripley up for something here. I don't know what it's going to be. Perhaps an elevator drop. I know we see Sasha Banks do that from time to time. No. Backside drop, perhaps. Right across the abdomen of Ripley, going for the cover. There's a 2 count, but not enough. Somehow or another, she found her way out of it, which has got to speak volumes for the intestinal fortitude for Andey Ripley, because I would imagine that coming down full body weight across the stomach of anybody would drive the air out of you and probably would take the fight out of most people. But the fact that she's still in it, it says something about her. And she's taking we will call that a hip attack. That's probably the nicest way that I can define it. Comes in. She was looking for a big splash. Great reflex by Ripley. Got the knees up just in time. And this might be that window of opportunity that I was talking about a little bit earlier. Goes back up to her feet. Looks like she's sizing up her opponent. Splash in the corner. Snapmare trying to get the fans behind her. Drop kick to the back. That might have rattled her long enough to get a 2 count. But not the 3. Forearm shot. Perhaps a SST, that reverse DDT that some like to use. No, final cut. Combination SST and an elbow right across the throat, but that still wasn't enough. Now, I'm not sure if this is just the sick willpower of Ravana Sin to keep going, or it's the voices in her head keeping her motivated, or perhaps a combination of both. The referee's telling him to watch the hair, but he's a little too late for that. Going for a splash again. Second time was not the charm, as Andey Ripley got out of the way and is now applying a leg lock, perhaps looking for the submission. I have not seen Sin give up in any occasion. Will this be the first? Well, she's going for the hair. She's pulling Ripley, and she's just ignoring the referee. Oh. She ignored the referee long enough. She got the hair and pulled Ripley's head down low enough to where she could get a good eye rig in. Tries a big chop. Ripley looking for what I would assume to be a finish. This might be interesting how she, well, like Sin blocked it, lowered her center of gravity and stopped whatever it was that Ripley was trying to do. Ripley looked like she's aiming for a pile driver now. Sin, whatever she was trying to do, it seems to be reversed. And that's, ooh, 2, 3. And I believe that was the 8th deadly sin. And she licks her own forearm again. I'm not sure what that signifies, whether she likes the taste of her own flesh or she just enjoys the taste of human flesh in general. I mean, you go to her Facebook page, she is listed as a vegan cannibal. And I'm not sure how that works or how veganism affects cannibalism or vice versa. But one thing I don't want to do is I certainly don't want to find out. And back to what we was talking about at the beginning, I am firmly believe that she enjoys antagonizing the fans that come out to see her. And she seems to get quite a bit of joy from doing. Look at it, yelling at the fans as she's walking out. And I'm sure none of them wanted to see her accomplish what she just did, regardless of how she did it. She just getting well underneath the skin of the paying patrons here at Peach State Wrestling Alliance. Unfortunately, that young lady came up a little bit short, but I would say that she doesn't have anything to be ashamed of in her efforts. She put up quite the fight. It took Ravana taking a few cheap shots to get it done, but unfortunately, that's the way it rolls sometimes. Thanks for tuning in, folks.
It's been 3 long years since I set foot in the Peach State Arena. I've came back better and stronger and hungrier. Ask Andey Ripley. I sat on her face when I gave her the 8th deadly sin. Every girl at Peach State has a target on her back because I don't want to just win. I want to destroy. I want to eat their face. I want to taste their flesh. I want their red water dripping down my face. And I'm not going to stop until there's bloodshed.